Never do Bitcoin pricing because I'm just a dollar cost average guy. I just believe in the long term vision that each 4 year cycle has a new challenge, and that new challenge, if it overcomes it, takes it to new all time highs. And it's done that through every cycle I've been involved with. And I believe that if that it will probably do that in at some point in the fourth cycle as we start to get through to halving. So I never trade. I don't care about short term price. I used to work as a market maker, and I know that 90% of people lose money trading. It's not really my game. I've just found that I know people that were involved in Bitcoin in 2011, and to this day they're still not wealthy, even though they were involved in the highest performing asset class in history. And it's because they traded and tried to get the price right and tried to call the tops and bottoms. So I've never done that. I've always made sure I earn enough fiat in order to accumulate into weakness and into strength and just allocate and manage risks. That's been my game. That's the game I'd like anyone that follows me to try and play. And we're going to create a lot more tools at Bank to the Future to help people that really want to build and protect their wealth in a similar way. And that's what we've always done. So I tend not to forecast price. It's just based upon a thesis. I think we're miles away from Bitcoin ever becoming like a unit of account or a stable store of value. I think we've got so much more adoption to get through, more cycles to get through. I still feel we're at the early adopter phase. And personally, I think it's really, really amazing that this has happened and gave people an opportunity to accumulate below the $20,000 level again. I did release videos when it was at 65,000 telling people to get ready for, really, really big corrections. And the corrections, if I can get people to, the psychological shift for me was when I became what I call a Bitcoin thinker, which is that I stopped valuing my wealth in dollars and I started valuing my wealth in Bitcoin. And every month I said, how much Bitcoin do I have? And what risks do I need to hedge against so that I never go down in Bitcoin wealth? And that's a simple thing, but I made a pledge to myself to own more Bitcoin each month. And I don't care where you are, where you're at. When I was in El Salvador, there were people that were on the absolute poverty line that were essentially threatened by gangsters, where they had to give a percentage of their income to a gangster. And when those reforms happened and they no longer were threatened by gangsters, they decided to just find the money and start spending it. But I said to myself, when you were threatened by a gangster, no matter how bad it get, you took it seriously enough to save and pay off the gangster. What if you just took it that serious to save a percentage and put it into Bitcoin? And that's the psychological shift. If each month you can stop valuing your wealth in dollars and start valuing your wealth in Bitcoin, then eventually you can get to the breaking the cycle point if Bitcoin succeeds, and it either succeeds or it doesn't. And I believe that the statistical likelihood of it succeeding from here is it's proven itself to be such an anti-fragile network, and that's all I believe people need to do. And yet they all try and trade, they all try and figure out the tops and bottoms, they all try and go into all sorts of things. And I've been through a lot of scams, a lot of hardships, a lot of losses, but I've still stuck to that simple rule that no matter what happens, and if I don't stick to it, I look back and learn. And so it's a gift the world has given us. And if people don't take it, then it's a shame, because I can't imagine what going through this world would have been like for the last decade without Bitcoin. And that's how I see it. It's such a gift and an opportunity to be alive. And I think I'm going to round it up there. So always remember, you are alive at one of the most interesting and exciting times in financial history. Sometimes it can be really painful. Sometimes it can be really scary. Sometimes you'll get wrecked. Other times you'll do really well. And I want to try and make sure that you're on the right side of that change.